the guillotine. Its very name conjures images of unyielding, brutal efficiency during the French Revolution. For 2 years, from 1793 to 1794, it stood as a stark symbol, transforming political dissent into a grim spectacle of finality. But did this gruesome innovation merely end lives? Or did it, in fact, mechanically cleave the very fabric of governance, shaping the trajectory of modern political thought in ways we are only now beginning to comprehend? Consider the revolutionary fervor that swept through France, a tempest of ideals proclaiming liberty, equality, and fraternity. Yet, beneath these lofty principles lay a chilling paradox: the fervent pursuit of a utopian society often justified unimaginable savagery. Martha Brandt, a distinguished contemporary scholar, has diligently unearthed an intriguing connection between these two seemingly disparate aspects, linking the guillotine's morbid efficiency directly to the political structures we accept as normal today. For centuries, political theorists have grappled with the mechanisms of power, consensus, and control. But what if the very act of literal dismemberment, enacted upon the perceived enemies of the state, implanted a deep, unconscious blueprint for decision-making? Martha posits that the swift, uncompromising finality of the blade became a perverse metaphor for political reform, an unspoken template for purging opposition and restructuring society with brutal efficacy. This video explores the profound, albeit often overlooked, legacy of the guillotine, charting its unlikely influence on contemporary governance. We will venture beyond mere historical account, delving into the surprising echoes of its philosophy found in modern institutions, from parliamentary debates to the very structure of our judicial systems. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about the genesis of our political landscape. The initial spark of revolutionary zeal, ignited by Enlightenment ideals, quickly morphed into the terrifying conflagration known as the Reign of Terror. During this period, the guillotine became the ultimate arbiter of truth, arbitrarily, distinguishing patriot from traitor with chilling speed. The very architecture of political discourse shifted, becoming defined by an urgent, existential binary, compliance or erasure. This rapid, decisive judgment, swiftly delivered by the blade, etched itself into the nascent political consciousness. Martha contends that this created a subconscious precedent for expedited decision-making within governmental bodies, particularly when dealing with matters deemed of national urgency. Think of it as a fundamental operating system update for nascent democracy, but one that came with some rather sharp edge cases. The initial shock of the terror gradually receded, but its core principles, the swift identification and elimination of opposition, the unwavering belief in a singular correct path, persisted. These ideas, Martha argues, subtly infiltrated the very bedrock of political architecture, appearing in unexpected places, much like a stubborn, iridescent stain on an otherwise pristine historical tapestry. Consider the modern phenomenon of political purges within parties or organizations. While not involving literal beheadings, the underlying impulse to ruthlessly excise dissenting voices, to maintain ideological purity through rapid and often brutal means, bears an undeniable, though symbolic, resemblance to the terror's methodology. This unconscious inheritance manifests not just in political purges, but in the very lexicon of political debate. Terms like cutting through red tape, decisive action, or slicing budgets are, according to Martha, not merely idioms. They are linguistic echoes of a period when literal severance was the ultimate solution. Furthermore, Martha's research reveals the guillotine's subtle role in shaping public expectations of political leaders. Citizens, she argues, unconsciously demand a certain brutality of decisiveness, a willingness to make sharp, definitive cuts, perhaps fueled by a lingering collective memory of the blade's uncompromising efficiency. This inherited psychological framework, Martha suggests, explains why certain policy decisions, particularly those involving austerity measures or unpopular reforms, are often framed in terms of surgical precision. The imagery of a clean, swift cut, rather than a messy, protracted debate, holds an inexplicable appeal. The very act of formalizing political debate into a system of pros and con arguments, Martha postulates, is a direct descendant of the guillotine's binary judgment. One side is triumphantly elevated, the other summarily dismissed, much like the final verdict rendered by the blade. There is no middle ground, only definitive separation. This philosophical legacy extends even to the mundane. Think of a simple committee meeting where one proposal is unceremoniously tabled or cut. These innocuous phrases, Martha explains, carry the faint, ghostly resonance of finality, of an ultimate, irreversible decision. Martha posits that the very concept of a political opponent underwent a subtle but significant transformation. From being merely an ideological adversary, they became, in the unconscious mind, something akin to an obstruction, to be removed, a foreign body to be expunged for the health of the body politic. This subconscious directive, Martha concludes, has led to a fascinating, if disturbing, phenomenon. Modern political systems, she argues, unwittingly carry out highly stylized, metaphorical decapitations of ideas, policies, and even entire departments, all in the name of efficiency and ideological coherence. Ultimately, Martha Brandt's exhaustive research reveals that the French Revolution's most infamous invention did not merely provide a grisly method of execution. It bequeathed to us a profoundly influential, albeit unacknowledged, philosophical template for political action and discourse. Its metallic echo resonates still. From the urgent demands for legislative efficiency to the unyielding rhetoric of political campaigns, we can discern the lingering shadow of the blade. It taught us to seek definitive answers, to demand swift consequences, and to simplify complex issues into stark, unambiguous choices. So, the next time you witness a contentious parliamentary debate or observe a political faction rigorously expunging an internal dissident, remember the guillotine. Its influence, though unseen, remains a silent, metallic presence, shaping the very discourse of power. From the swift enactment of policy to the unforgiving rhetoric of public debate, the guillotine, in its abstract form, continues its work. It is the invisible architect of our political landscape, perpetually slicing through complexities, leaving behind only the stark, clean lines of modern governance. Thus, the French Revolution, a period of unparalleled innovation in both political philosophy and execution technology, gave rise to a legacy far more intricate than mere historical footnotes. It provided the ultimate template, a final blueprint for the very foundations of contemporary political existence. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe for more. Ring the bell and comment below. Until next time, we're history.